Man, what's up, world? It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, back with another video. Um, and this is kind of piggybacking off of some conversations I had with a few brothers of mine in relation to just, snap conversation we end up having about the state of black folk and primarily the state of our women. Um, Granted, I'm under the belief that, women shouldn't be your priority, but at the same time, they're definitely high on the desire list. And then at the same time as this, well, shortly before, I was watching a video from the Crimson Cure where it was highlighting black men like hate black women, right? Um, and how they get triggered by Becky. And we've seen another, I don't know how long ago this was, but it was a picture of like a black family, an older man and wife that had 8 black sons who were about 25, in the 20 to 30 range. And all the black sons were married of the 8 sons, but only one was married to an American black woman. The rest of them were married. I think the other 6 were married to white women, and the other might have been melanated, but maybe from like, I don't know, the islands or something like that. And I hadn't got through the video, but there seems to be this social cataclysm that black women are completely unaware of. It's like being blindfolded on a train track, but you refuse to hear the warnings of the incoming train. Because of how I've covered it in previous videos, the black woman being the greatest consumer of the wine of Babylon. I know in the word it talks about like a evil woman will commit, I'm paraphrasing, commit like this super atrocity, lick her lips and say, I've done no wrong. In the psyche of the modern black woman, of course we'll say it ain't all, but we're hard pressed to find those who don't fit the bill because seemingly they all look the same, talk the same. You know what I mean? They defend one another. Even if they say they're not doing it, they'll defend the black woman that does do it. Like, case in point, when Jada Pinkett had that entanglement with with her son's homeboy. And online, all the black women, I didn't really see any black women like denounce it or whatever. They all defended, yeah, get that young meat. Will ain't doing something, woo woo woo. But of course, if the shoe was on the other foot, now of course you don't grade men and women by the same barometer. But if Will Smith has slept with his son's or his daughter's homegirl, he'd have been a predator and so on and so forth. It's all predatory nature. Um, it's almost amazing to see the delusion, the inability to see the reality. And the only way they're seeing the reality now is because of the economic, inflation, so on and so forth. Excuse me. But they're still holding on to the pride and the delusion. And then it's not really like, oh, let me have a change of mind here or a change of heart. Then they come up with the soft girl era to then dupe dudes. Like, none of this is actually organic or real. In my small town, they just had a Freaknik that they organized, that the youngins organized, the black young female girls who had just recently graduated high school, to have a Freaknik in the projects, in which they had to call in other police agencies because all these youngins were outside butt naked, literally. Like, every outfit, like the purpose of it was to wear an outfit that highlights your bare butt cheeks in some degree fashion. Now, of course, that attracted the degenerate males, the old perverts. Um, they organized that, but they didn't. But they don't organize anything that's actually beneficial or that would push the culture forward. And I believe that, you know, this younger generation, with the advent of YouTube, social media, is seeing. And again, we're growing up. They're probably the second generation of fatherless households. Um, so they probably seen their mother operate a certain way. They're not taking black women seriously. They're using them for what they're good for, sex, and going on about their business. The only ones that really get duped are like I'll give the Pookie this. He don't take the black woman serious. Now, a decent dude, he'll attempt to change her or to work with her or whatever. The proverbial Pookie has that down pat. He just uses her for whatever she's good for, which is nothing but her body parts. Get whatever he can get up out of her, sleep with a homegirl, but she'll love him, whatever. It's amazing, like from a personal perspective of seeing people, but you can't reach them. Like when I was at the job, now I was in the healthcare field, and these black women who of grown age, and 90% of them had men at home, and they were fighting and getting extorted and sleeping with dudes the day they get out of a 60-day rehab. 60 days before you met this particular man, he had come to us because his life had become unmanageable due to substance abuse. And they were, cash apping these dudes. And I'm a dude, so like I've been around guys that got gangs, so on and so forth. More oftentimes than not, that wasn't the case, or they have some pseudo masculinity, whatever, to the point where it became working at the job unmanageable. It was, I expressed this to my mother. It was essentially attempting to keep the hens out the fox house. And all these women, like these aren't just one time, like they have a history of doing this. And when I brought this to the leadership, we can't prove it. You know what I'm saying? But there's more, 9 times out of 10 where smoke is a fire. But it was almost like they keep the machine running and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Just do your job. Then I expressed, this is making it hard to do the job. Because now I have to manage all these hoes who are unmanageable. So I quit, but here's my point. I don't think black women understand the quagmire they're putting themselves in long term. When this system falls apart, and it's crumbling as we see with inflation, immigration, war, woo, black men of any sense, or who have, had these negative experiences with black women, aren't looking to save or to rescue now or in the future. These black women don't have a history of being, just even at the least enjoyable to be around. They're always attempting to run some game or find some angle. No sane man of any color wants that around him. All they will be left with is the type of dudes that they particularly, procreate with, so on and so forth, who will have no wisdom, knowledge, and skill set to navigate the situation now or then. It's hard to come up with words to describe what I see and where it's going. And the pride, the delusion is so astronomical. I could label it a mental health crisis. But again, in reference to the black men, they're a protected class, so you can't tell them anything. Or if you do, you'll get shamed. Or it's amazing how the black woman has been used. I look at it as a treasonous act. How has the system convinced you that destroying your man and your family is in your best interest? But again, this stuff kind of goes back to, like Proverbs, where it says a wicked woman destroys her house, or buildeth up. Like, in these homes, there's not even any semblance of God or order or righteousness or just being a decent human being. Now, they'll portray decency for ulterior motive, but again, whoever you are is going to come out, eventually at some point in time. We are literally watching the social execution of black women. Because no other man on earth views this new modern black woman other than for, recreation sexually. Nobody's gonna say, yo, and I'm generalizing, but nobody's gonna say, yo, I thank God that I had this American modern black woman in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's normally the opposite. Carl Thomas, I wish I never met her at all. This is insane, bro. This is insane. Like, and then here's what I'm seeing as well. And again, I live in a small town. They're getting destroyed earlier and earlier. Like, I understand if you're an older man, you might have a desire for a younger woman. But it seemed like the age of a woman's prime years is dropping in the black community. Maybe, what's it, 18 to 25? But now it seems like past 21, she's already had a lesbian experience. She may have already had an abortion. She's probably already been tag teamed or one of those super dupe, you know what I'm saying, with multiple or dingalings, and you know what I'm saying? She's already sold her box to an older man. You know what I'm saying? And this is all before or around about, let's say 23. If you don't catch her early, and then you'll still have to deal with the program to some degree, she's of no use. They're destroying them or getting destroyed before they even get started. May the Most High be with us.